Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really fascinating paradox in the marketing world right now. Look, we all know artificial intelligence in advertising is incredibly powerful. It's a total game changer. But here's the catch. Without the precise strategy to guide it, it is also surprisingly perilous. So we're going to look right past all the industry buzzwords today and break down what it actually takes to build an AI performance marketing system that learns, scales, and most importantly, drives actual, real commercial value. Okay. Let's dive into this, because the current numbers tell a pretty surprising story about where the industry actually stands right now. Despite all the hype and the endless headlines about AI revolutionizing the space, literally only 30% of advertising organizations have fully integrated AI across their campaign lifecycle. Meanwhile, a staggering 70% of ad execs report experiencing at least one AI-related incident. This massive gap highlights a really crucial reality for us. Simply using an AI feature on a platform, that is not the same thing as actually operating an AI-ready marketing system.
Here's the exact strategic journey we're taking today to demystify all of this. First, the AI marketing reality. 2, the continuous learning loop. 3, the power of the signal. 4, metrics that actually matter. 5, the implementation framework. And finally, number 6, human judgment moves upstream.
So starting with part 1, the AI marketing reality. Let's get beyond those buzzwords. Let's completely strip away the jargon to understand what this means in practice. Fundamentally, AI performance marketing combines artificial intelligence with outcome-based marketing. It evaluates just massive amounts of data. We're talking audience, bidding, placement, creative, and conversion data, the whole shebang, and it predicts which specific action is most likely to produce a very clearly defined result. Think of it less like putting up a giant billboard and more like deploying a heat-seeking missile aimed directly at actual revenue and margin, rather than just superficial platform clicks. To really appreciate this shift, you have to look at how it compares to the traditional approach. In the old, manual way of running campaigns, you relied heavily on predefined audience segments, a little bit of sequential testing, and scheduled manual budget changes. But AI changes the entire marketing lifecycle, way beyond just media buying. It uses predictive expansion based on actual conversion probabilities. It leverages dynamic, auction-level allocation based on predicted value. It is a complete shift from static, rigid rules to fluid, probabilistic predictions.
Moving right along to Section 2, the continuous learning loop.
And this brilliantly illustrates the actual mechanism of how AI works under the hood, completely replacing that old launch, collect, review, adjust cycle. The platform is constantly cycling through 4 distinct phases. First, it observes audience behavior and conversion events. Second, it predicts the likelihood of conversion and the expected outcome value. Third, it acts, adjusting bids and serving up creative combinations. And fourth, it learns by comparing predicted outcomes against the actuals to update its future decisions. The platform adjusts continuously, but, and this is absolutely vital, the human marketer controls what the system is actually allowed to pursue and the boundaries it has to respect.
Which brings us to Section 3, the power of the signal.
Now, this is the core conflict of our entire explainer today. An algorithm doesn't inherently know what a good lead is unless you explicitly tell it. If you optimize for proxy conversions, things like simple page views or just button clicks, the AI is going to ruthlessly optimize for exactly that. It will enthusiastically go out and find you thousands of people who just love clicking buttons but never actually buy a single thing. Basically, weak objectives create highly efficient campaigns that produce completely wrong results. It's fascinating to see how different business models really must upgrade their signals to prevent that exact scenario from happening. Take B2B lead generation, for example. A weak signal, that's just a simple form submission. A much more useful signal is a sales-qualified lead with an estimated value attached to it. But to do that, you have to connect your advertising data straight into your CRM. Or look at SaaS. Optimizing for a free trial registration is a weak signal. Optimizing for an activated trial or retained revenue is a strong one. You absolutely have to feed the AI the commercial reality of your business, not just these surface-level digital interactions.
Now for Section 4, metrics that actually matter.
With better signals in place, we really need to talk about measurement. Why? Because a cheaper cost per lead has absolutely zero value if lead quality drops and it reduces your total sales. To measure this correctly, we must clearly separate 2 very different concepts. Attribution simply describes which interactions received credit for a conversion. Incrementality, on the other hand, estimates what happened specifically because the advertising ran. You see, some customers attributed to a campaign would have purchased anyway without ever seeing the ad. Finding that difference, True causal incrementality is absolutely essential before you even think about scaling your ad spend.
Let's look at how this builds into a proper commercial staircase for your metrics. We really need to arrange them into a 4-tier hierarchy. Tier 1 is delivery and diagnostic metrics, like impressions and click-through rates. Tier 2 is platform optimization, like cost per acquisition. But honestly, we can't stop there. We must move up to Tier 3, commercial metrics. These are things like customer acquisition cost and pipeline value. And finally, Tier 4, causal metrics, like incremental ROS. Simply put, Tiers 1 and 2 diagnose, Tiers 3 and 4 actually decide if the campaign is economically sustainable.
Section 5, the implementation framework. So, the crucial point is how we shift from all this theory and turn it into actual, highly practical execution. If you want to integrate AI successfully, the sequence matters immensely. Let's walk through the roadmap. Step 1, define the economic outcome you can actually profitably purchase. Step 2, repair the conversion path, meaning fix your CRM fields and offline conversion imports. Step 3, choose a constrained pilot campaign with clear, reliable data. Step 4, establish human-controlled boundaries, like geographic restrictions and maximum costs. Step 5, compare the commercial quality of the results, not just the sheer volume. And only then do you move to Step 6, which is scale in stages. Let me be clear. Scaling automation before your tracking is reliable is only going to amplify your data problems at a faster, way more expensive rate.
And finally, Section 6, human judgment moves upstream. This whole framework sets up a vital realization. As AI takes over the rapid-fire decisions, the human role absolutely doesn't disappear. It just evolves. I actually love this quote from the research. The advantage of AI performance marketing will increasingly come from better signal design rather than faster button pushing. It's so true. While the AI takes over repetitive execution and automated bidding, human strategy moves upstream. As a marketer, you are now responsible for defining the objectives, establishing the boundaries, designing the experiments, and building distinct creative hypotheses. You are the architect of the entire system. The AI is simply the engine. Which leaves us with this final, provocative question to ask yourself and your team. Are your conversion signals genuinely strong enough to guide an AI toward profitable growth, or are you just efficiently optimizing for illusions? Take a hard look at the data you are feeding your platforms. Thank you so much for joining this explainer, and keep exploring the realities behind the algorithms.